Well, good morning, everybody. It's great that you have chosen to join us for another Scotland's Assembly. My name is Tom Webster, and I'm part of the team here at e-Sgoil, and we are really excited about this morning's Assembly because we are starting the first of 4 assemblies in a row, thinking about COP26, getting us ready for that event in Scotland, which Scotland is hosting, all about climate change. COP26, this big gathering of all these leaders, isn't for a little bit, and so we're calling these 4 assemblies our countdown to COP. And we are really lucky to be joined by another great guest this week. We are going to be going all the way to Arran to join Jenny and the COAST project there on Arran, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about sea life and how that is affected by climate change, how it helps climate change as well. But we would love if you can to put into the chat where you're from, how many of you are watching, tell us your school, and later on we'd love to give you a bit of a shout out as well. But also, as you are listening to Jenny and maybe watching the videos and some of the things that we're going to show you, you might have some questions. Put those in the chat as well, and we'll do our best to answer those later on. Well, I want you to get comfortable. I'm sitting here in my garden in Aberdeen, and I have to say it's a bit cold and a bit grey, but I'm sitting on my chair and I'm quite comfortable, and you should do the same. So whether you're watching at school or at home, maybe you're with others from your class, maybe you're in a slightly bigger group, get comfortable, because in just a minute we're going to show you a bit of a video showing you exactly where Jenny is on Arran, and this is quite a chilled out video. There's some beautiful scenery to look at, and as you're watching it, I want you to treat it as a bit of a sort of mindful moment. Just for a couple of minutes, I want you to chill out. I want you to watch the video. I want you to see what you can see. I want you to think about, if you were there, what do you think you could see? What do you think you could maybe smell? What do you think maybe you could even taste in the air as you're watching this video? And once you watch that little video, we're going to go straight to Jenny at the COAST project, and she's going to tell us all about that area of Scotland and make some connections with climate change as well. So type into the chat if you are joining us live. We'd love to know where you are, how many are watching, and if you have any questions, keep putting them into the chat, and we'll do our best to give you a shout out and answer your questions later on. But for now, get comfortable, and we're going to just spend a couple of minutes with this video introducing us to where we are going in Scotland today.
Hello, and good morning to you all, and welcome to the Coast Discovery Centre. My name's Jenny, and I'm delighted to speak to you about a bit about the marine environment and the wonderful habitats and species we have in it today. But first off, coast. You might associate the coast with being by the sea, but coast to us stands for the Community of Arran Seabed Trust. And we are a marine conservation charity who work with the local community to protect the seas and all the creatures that live within them. We were set up 25 years ago by two local scuba divers who'd been diving our waters for many, many years and saw all the things that were happening to them that weren't good for the animals and the habitats, so the homes that these animals live in. And they decided something had to be done. So what they did is they spent 13 years campaigning hard to get a small area called the no-take zone put in place. That area was the area of water that you just watched in that video that the drone was flying over. No take, it does what it says on the tin. You cannot extract any marine life from that area whatsoever. It's against the law. The no-take zone sits within the much larger South Arran Marine Protected Area now. The Marine Protected Area isn't a no-take zone. It promotes what we deem sustainable fishing. So fishing methods that don't damage the bottom habitat, so it doesn't take up seaweed, it doesn't take up species it's not supposed to. Sustainable fishing just goes in, captures the fish or the scallops or the prawns that it's going for, takes them out and sells them. Everyone can make a livelihood from the seas. There's just better ways to do it than others. But you're probably thinking, how does the marine environment fit into climate change? After all, this assembly is all about the lead up to COP26 and how that can help us combat climate change. Well, little do many people know that the marine environment plays a key part in protecting and helping the battle against climate change. And that's all to do with some really special habitats that we have in our seas. Now you'll see just over my shoulder, there's a big poster that's green and it says seagrass spotter on the top. Seagrass is an underwater flowering plant. It's just like grass, really, except it lives very shallow in our salt waters, about 5 meters down. And it's so special because it's a really good nursery habitat for lots of juvenile fish that we have in our seas, such as cod and haddock. So the youngsters of the fish you like to get from your chippy on a Friday night. And it nurtures those juveniles until they're big enough to go and live in the big bad ocean. But seagrass is even more special because it is one of many blue carbon habitats. Blue carbon is a term for habitats that are in our seas that absorb and sequester carbon from the atmosphere. So they retain the carbon within their systems, meaning there's less carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. That's really